You're listening to a portion of our conversation from episode 254 featuring the Jurassic Wire with myself, Brad Jost, and co-host Aaron Beyer. If you want to hear the full conversation, download the episode on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you listen to podcasts. Today we discuss the recent outbreak of spoiler content being posted online and coming across them unwillingly. We do not discuss any particular spoiler in this episode, but rather the topic of spoiler culture and how it affects fandoms. Also, don't post spoilers on social media, okay? As always, be sure to let us know what you think, and of course, we hope you enjoy it. And this is going to be, maybe we won't linger on this too much, but spoilers. I want to talk about not anything in particular. No.
I was like, wait, we're going to spoiler chat, but no, I know. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing
revealing anything, but I just want to talk about just being kind to others out there. Really, is what it comes down to. I think my viewpoint is on spoilers, and set leaks and stuff like that. Is I sometimes I appreciate looking at them, but I know that not everybody does. I get a lot of feedback from people being, the host of the podcast that not everybody appreciates looking at these fine details of the film, especially now, a year and a half out from watching the movie in a theater or wherever that is. A lot of people just like to witness it or just to watch a trailer or two and be done with it. And unfortunately right now we're getting a lot of leaks, directly from the set, stuff featuring very, very big spoiler details that we're not going to say right now. Stuff that you would rather be revealed in a film instead of in a picture that you just so happen to click on. And I know a lot of people are saying just avoid the internet, but you can't tell people.
Okay.
You cannot tell people to avoid the internet because it's where we all live these days. We are all on the internet, and we all are all a part of, other fandoms, whether it's video games or other film franchises or sports or whatever the case may be. And you just may be flipping by something and just so happen to see an image that somebody posted that reveals a major set point or a set piece, and it really ruins things. And if it's not officially released, just try to stay away from it. Just to be kind to others, to those who don't want to see.
Yeah, so my whole thing, became a big thing this last month. Spoilers have been kind of set leaks for me, that I've noticed have been probably the last 3 months or so.
There's been a lot.
There's been a lot, but this last month, there was some really, I thought, interesting ones. Ones that actually held story gravity as instead of look, you show me a car, you show me a dinosaur. I know those things are going to be in Jurassic. You know what I'm saying? But when you see the sets and you see events that happen, it's oh man, but now I'm already filling in the gaps and I'm a year and a half out. And so here's the thing. The argument of why spoilers should be allowed on just common venues like Twitter. Here's the argument. Mm-hmm. Well, you should start muting keywords that you don't want to see. You should stay away from Twitter or Instagram. You should unfollow people that you normally follow. Mm-hmm. And it's wait a second. Why do I have to inconvenience my online experience when all you have to do is just say, hey, spoilers, click on this link that then goes to your website or something, right?
Yeah, we're not saying abolish all spoilers. It's put them in the appropriate place behind a click, or I know a lot of them get posted on Instagram, but the problem there is that you can put a cover image, but once you see that cover image, it then defaults to the next image. And then when you scroll by again later on, you end up seeing the spoiler. So yeah, it's like it's all a problem. So it's safest on Reddit or on your own website or somewhere else where a spoiler tag is obvious, not just on a timeline and just within a photo or text.
So for me, this one of those big spoilers that I'm not like thrilled I know about. Now, granted, here's the thing. I see a lot of footage from movies way ahead of time than everybody, right? As a professional, I don't talk about any of the things I see to anybody prior to that. And so when I see stuff like this online, I'm like, what do you gain from this? Unless there's monetary, like, trust me, I could make a lot of money selling things I see, but like why? That doesn't.
It doesn't matter. Why would you do that?
So I could ruin my reputation and ruin, like I could. Anybody in the industry could easily go to Entertainment Weekly or some rag magazine and be like, oh, I'm working on this and X, Y, and Z happens, and those things happen, but like those people don't have careers for very long, right? And like, I don't understand, like, and so when I see it, it's like, what do you gain from this? What are you making money off this? Like unless you're feeding your family for a month, like why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why do this?
But I know, and you were saying something about you said something. Oh, content. You kind of brought up like you're piecing things together and stuff. Context is a key thing that people are saying, like, well, there's no context to this photo, but there's no
context to this one.
There may not be.
The next one, and the next one, and the next one.
Piece them all together. You have the whole story.
Piece them all together. You have the whole story, and so
that's the problem that people aren't seeing.
Now, for me, for instance, this weekend, this last one that happened, it was tagged, hey, these images might contain spoilers. Well, I didn't realize I was only looking at parts of images. And so I looked at the 4 images on my Twitter feed and go, oh, these aren't anything that I deem as ruining the film. So let me make these images I see here larger and check them out. And when I clicked on the one, it expanded to like what I didn't realize was a full photo. And man, I got something that like, I mean, we're going to talk about it after the end of the podcast.
Stay around. Stick around.
Yeah.
But the thing that you're mentioning was there was literally a tire, right? And that's not a spoiler. Yeah. There's vehicles in this movie. There was a tire, and that you expand that you expect to be looking at a tire, like not whatever was up here. It's like those images.
You look at like an InGen logo or something.
It's online. It's like there's always those pictures that people share around. Like click open for a surprise, and then you open. It's like a guy and you open it, and he's got like a bunch of cats on his lap or something like that. You're like, oh, so cute, so cute. So that's what this was like, but a surprise that ruins things in the movie for you. And the context thing is a thing that bums me out because, like, and maybe the context means nothing right now, with one single image, but over time, many things mean, you can piece together the whole movie. With Fallen Kingdom, everybody complains that you saw too much of that movie. Now, it pieced together every set leak that we've ever seen, as well as the marketing material, the official stuff. And then you're like, well, I know the entire movie. And when I left Fallen Kingdom, I was bummed because I knew the whole movie. And I didn't speak to anyone ahead of time. I just saw everything via marketing materials and leaks that I didn't necessarily want to see. So yeah, that's the problem. And I know,
and we're so far out now. We're so far out.
Yeah. And the thing is, a cast member may post a similar picture or something that contains something that was spoiled previously. And unfortunately, that is what it is. Like, that is an official picture. Universal, Colin Trevorrow, whoever it is, has the right to say, no, let's take that down, or let's not post that. Let's put up something else. So they have the right to take all that stuff down and get rid of it and try to get it off the internet. So if they okay it, if they say it's acceptable, it's acceptable. And
But
unfortunately, it's
come
an
on,
official thing.
Look at like things that came out. So Sam Neill posted a photo this week.
Yeah.
That if you really wanted to zoom in on it and check out the background, you could get some cool images. That is staged. That's not Sam Neill didn't make a mistake.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
the Wi-Fi password though, that's like a weird thing. I don't know why there was like, is that real? Like what's going on there? Why'd you just post a picture with the Wi-Fi password?
But I mean, like, who cares?
No, I know,
there,
but like,
if you're not there, you can't use the Wi-Fi.
I mean, you can like drive right next to Pinewood. How good is their Wi-Fi? I don't know.
Honestly, it's probably a dedicated Wi-Fi that has nothing to do with their communications or servers.
Oh,
it's probably
I doubt it. Yeah, it was a funny thing that I saw in the background.
Well, sure, because he was taking a selfie in his dressing room. Yeah. But again, if you really wanted to zoom in there, you could get some spoilers. That stuff is all staged by marketing, production.
Yeah, but those, like everybody is saying, like, it's the context. There's not really a lot going on. You can see parts of things that are potentially spoilery. So, yeah, it's a bummer that, like, maybe you see something, but again, it's official. And if they didn't like that out there, they would pull it. They would pull it out. And they've done it before. We were talking about the logo for Jurassic World Dominion with the 3. That was initially posted, and it had to be scrubbed. They took it off the internet because it had I guess 3 slashes. I don't know why they removed it, but I'm assuming that's why, because they never released anything. Maybe they just didn't want that out there because it wasn't official. Well,
the look is everything, right?
Yeah.
Like it's actually very rare that we even get the behind the scenes looks that we do anymore, that like Trevorrow is giving us with like, animatronics with wires sticking out their bottoms and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, sure.
Movies don't do that because that breaks the illusion of the product they're trying to sell. And so I feel like we're already getting what we're given by this production team is already beyond what
it's plenty. Yeah.
Star Wars gives us. Like, just accept it and be grateful. Like, and let the production and the marketing team, let them do their job by keeping up the hype. We don't need Twitter to be flooded with a bunch of spoilers. And again, if you absolutely have to, for some weird reason, like you get a kick out of it, or you're just like, contain it on your own website. And again, link to spoilers, go here,
Yeah. But the thing is, like, that only helps to a certain extent, because you can control what you post, but you can't control what everybody else posts. So once that image is out there, you can't contain it, just like Jurassic is trying to tell us. You've already opened the box. It's out. So you post a picture and maybe you obscured it, or maybe you kept it on your website, but then people are just posting that spoiler right on there. So you also have to think about that as well, in a way.
That's true. And I don't like the argument like, well, you should be starting to block people or starting to unfollow them for a while. It's like, well, wait, how do I know to unfollow you, or how do I know to hide you until you violate my trust?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, those options don't always work. Like, I mute. If you post spoilers, Aaron, like I can mute you or block you, but sometimes those muting words, like you can go and mute words, but it doesn't always work. Let me tell you how many things I've muted I still see on my timeline every day. It doesn't matter. I cannot get away from some of these things.
I think of like Game of Thrones, and
that was one of them. Yeah,
Game of Thrones, man. Like, there's an event that you are waiting and waiting and waiting to happen, and eventually it happens. And I was always behind on Game of Thrones, right? And that's I don't have HBO, so I always watched it when it came out, like on streaming or DVD or whatever.
Yeah.
And some guy posted this spoiler, and it's like, dude, like how was I supposed to know not to follow you, or not to, like, how was I supposed to know to defriend you on Facebook before you? And it's like, okay, so I unfriended him because now, or blocked him or whatever it is on Facebook, because now I can't trust him to not post spoilers, but the damage was done. He already posted the biggest spoiler of the series,
Yeah. And then even if there is zero context to that image or whatever that thing was that you saw, your brain...
There was a lot of context to this one image.
But your brain is working, dude. Your brain is running, and it's coming up with every possible theory, whether you care to or not. Like, it literally is thinking about every theory. And
by the time you think of every theory, you're right about one of them.
Yeah. and then you're no longer surprised. So it's a real bummer. And I've also seen a lot of people mocking the community for not liking spoilers, and that's got to stop right now. Like, I am sick and tired of that. And I've called you guys out directly. Do not do that. Do not mock people for that. I'm mad.
Especially in the Jurassic community, like, we're such a small and young community. Like, man, be way cooler to each other than that. You know, this isn't.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I like to sit and pick on the Star Wars community, but man, they're brutal over there. You know,
let me tell you, the Star Wars community knows how to handle spoilers online, though. That's the thing. They know how to handle spoilers online. They're not doing it. They're not doing it.
But it's just the general meanness in any community. I'm more or less talking about. Like,
sure. You know, I was just kind of pointing out that they know how to handle that thing. But yeah, the meanness is certainly something that we don't really experience all that much here. And when you notice who it is, get rid of those people, because you don't need that. You don't need people spoiling stuff for you. You don't need certainly people mocking you for not wanting to be spoiled on a movie. And it's been happening for years and years. And I'll call you out each and every time. So stop doing it.
Yeah. And I think this is actually a great opportunity to plug our Jurassic Park podcast Facebook community, where all you have to do is answer the simple questions, and then you can come hang out with us, where it's a negativity-free zone. And we talk about things from The Wire. We talk about podcast episodes, and we want more traction over there. We want more interaction. So please join us on Facebook. That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, we try to do our best here for not revealing things. A lot of times, you know, our conversations head in directions, in all directions, because we're theorizing and we're trying to come up with the best possible scenario. So like you were saying before, eventually you may stumble upon something that does tread on what the stories are. And that's just the nature of, you know, communicating about things and just talking about things and theorizing. But, you know, as far as spoilers go, I do know things. I'm just not saying them. I'm not talking about those things, you know?
Right.
Like the spoilers that we're going to talk about later. I could have said it 19 times in our discussion about whatever Dominion is. And
I mean,
you know, it just doesn't
for how
need
many,
to, it doesn't need to
for
come
how many
up.
spoilers are out there, Brad, like I would imagine that at the end of this episode, when the credits roll, you and I can easily talk for another hour. You know, like there's enough information out there. I know, buddy, we need to get moving.
But anyway, please,
it's 1 o'clock.
Please be kind to everybody out there, and don't do it. Just don't even bother doing it. It's not worth it. Is it really worth ruining the movie for other people, and then to be looked poorly upon by everybody in the community? Just don't do it.
I mean, unless you're making a ton of money, I guess. But
even then, why are you doing that? Why is that your choice?
Why are you doing that? Yeah.
Anyway, I think that about wraps up the episode.
That does it.